Hola.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to number 4, episode 4 of Mike in a Bottle, where we have Abdel Beldi,
Hello.
myself, Yasmin Dakumi,
Hi.
and myself, Kevin. Kevin from the
From the U.S.
From the
That's where you're
U.S.
from,
Kevin.
Kevin.
Sure. All right, so how you guys doing?
Good. How are you? I thought you were asking them how are you doing.
Oh, hey, how are you guys doing? Most importantly,
Yes.
and Yasmin.
Hope everybody is doing great. I'm doing good myself. I'm rearranging my priorities this time. Yeah, but everything is good. Life is good.
Everything's good.
Happy.
Abdel, how you doing?
I just want to explain the thing about the Mike in a bottle.
Yeah, why not?
That's the name of our thing, right?
Yes.
And I've been looking at that bottle now, and I feel like everybody's owed an explanation. Everybody who's watching, all the 0 people there. So Mike in a bottle is pretty obvious if you're looking at this video. It's a Mike in a bottle, and my explanation is thus done.
Yes. And it is a show where we talk to you through this mic in a bottle.
Yes.
So, Yasmin,
Yes.
what's been going on with you lately?
You mentioned you took a break.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes.
Things.
Yes. From things, more specifically from social media.
Okay.
As few of you already know, I'm a little bit active on social media and specifically on Instagram.
Okay.
And lately, I've noticed that it's taking up a lot of my time. And since I have new things I'm doing with my life at the moment, so I thought that I might want to put social media not on the top priority of my list anymore, but to take a break for now, try to understand what's going on, and then I'll be back again on social media. Yeah.
So that's like a pretty common thing in the past, I would say, like few years, where you hear more and more people just going, like, I'm taking a break from social media. And it's funny because it's like, it doesn't sound right away like a very resource intensive thing, like a very energy demanding type thing, but it's intensive on your mental abilities.
It is.
And eventually you do get exhausted and you need a goddamn break.
It is.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's not a physical thing, of course. You're not doing a physical effort when you're on social media, but the way it exhausts you is that because it keeps you chained to your laptop or whatever device you're using for a long time, and so you disconnect from the real world. You might have some work to do. You might have some social communications going on. You're being with your friends, your family, but still you are there. You're on your phone, connecting with people that's asking you some informations or just want to know a few things, and you're out there and without realizing you just spent 4 hours a day on your phone. So I'm like, whoa. At least it's not a bad thing to be on social media or to be active on social media, but you need to know where to put it on your priority list.
Yeah.
How long should you accord to it? How long should you give it from your time per day? And just try to balance between social media and real life.
It's not so easy though, is it?
It's not.
Because
It's
social
not.
media is built in a way that it's dynamic throughout the day.
Yeah.
Like it's easy to say you know what, I'm washing my clothes today from 8 to 8:30.
Yeah.
There's not gonna be a notification in your head in the middle of the day going hey, you should wash your clothes now.
Exactly.
So social media, you put something out there, and sometimes people react at midnight. They'll react in a group in the middle of the day, and if you want to be reactive with that thing, you find yourself on your phone all the time to make sure that you don't miss anything, that you get your social interaction fix for every hour or so.
Yeah, and that takes a lot of time.
It does.
So actually what I've done, I never knew it existed until one day I saw it on social media, is a small reminder that tells you how much time you've spent on social
really?
media. It exists on Instagram. So for me, I've set 1 hour.
Okay.
1 hour at least. I know I can go up to 1 hour per messaging. Like let's say in the morning, I don't spend more than 1 hour, and I get that small reminder. I'm like, really? Did I just spend 1
just
hour?
like that.
And I'm like, yeah. But I go back again at night to check, and then 1 hour goes again. But yeah, that's one of the tools that just gives you a heads up, because you lose the sense of time. You lose sense of kind of dimensions.
Yeah.
Where am I? What am I doing? And you live in a totally different world.
Yeah, you're
What's
like.
happening, guys?
Yeah, the dogs right now have been very vocal,
Yes.
Puppy, Pixie.
and they don't believe in podcast quiet rules.
Maybe they want to be a part
I
of
think
it.
they're protesting
Yeah.
this social media rage.
Yeah.
They're trying to say their own word. They suffer a lot from me spending time on social media. They're like,
Really?
Abdel, we need some attention here.
Yeah, obviously.
Hi, hello.
Yeah.
Puppy.
Puppy.
Puppy. Pixie. Okay, calm down, calm down.
Yeah.
All right,
Pretty much.
you're welcome.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
See you
All right.
soon.
All right. Take care.
So yeah, like one of the things that dogs would complain about, I think, if they were able to talk, is that I spend way too much time on my computer.
Yes.
And like sometimes I would be deep into some computer-related thing, and then I would look to the side to Pixie on her mattress, and she's just like, she's got like her arm here and her head like this, and she's going like, come
She's
on,
looking
man.
at you like, yeah.
Like, don't you see I need
Attention.
some pets? Like, here's my head, do
I know.
something.
And this dog is special in the sense that she will be very active in moving your arm, and
Yeah,
she
yeah.
will not like rest
until you're petting her.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
She knows how to get what she wants.
I know, which is a great skill to have.
Yeah.
It does come with years of experience.
Especially dogs, they really want that interaction with human beings. So they're like, give me your attention, because they're always there to be there for you. So.
You know, actually, I see a link there between our topic and specifically that. Sometimes I think about social media in general as a concept. It did not really exist before, like Facebook, I want to say,
yeah, after.
as an actual
Entity, yeah.
part of the day.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Something you spend time and effort on.
Yeah, Facebook was the turnover.
Right. So I'm not talking about the company specifically or anything, but I really try to understand where the need comes from, the human need for social media, because it's emulating an actual need, which is socializing.
Exactly.
Humans are social creatures,
Exactly.
Yeah.
right? And social media fills that hole somehow. Not the same as the real way. Socializing in person is always better.
Yeah.
But I guess like humans in the 90s and 2000s with their busy lifestyles had less and less time to actually sit down and socialize with one another. And so social media came into that gap
To the rescue.
and was like, hey, you could actually, be sending an email and socializing at the same time.
Yeah.
You could be filling some spreadsheets and still talk with your friends and still show them your party last night and shit like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And it's progressed in a way, whereas, it encourages you to share certain kinds of things,
Yeah.
and it kind of gives you this false reality a little bit.
But it's not a false reality. Think about it, like in normal interactions between humans,
Yeah.
right? If I just spent a great fucking weekend and we see each other on Monday,
Yeah.
obviously I'm gonna show you the photos,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
tell you everything about it, I'm gonna share that with you. Like when I live the experience, even like there's some stories that are like, oh man, wait till I tell everybody about this.
Yeah.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
Aside from the social media
Yeah,
aspect. of it.
but you have to know to which extent you're using it, so it doesn't become addictive, and it becomes not only a way to show or to share, like you said, with people what you're doing or what's happening,
Right,
but
yeah.
the need, I need to show people. And sometimes what we notice on social media, that people create
Right.
things, so it's not necessarily real. That's the bad thing about
Yeah.
social
Well,
media.
think about it. Here's what happened. Facebook came in to fill that need, right? To socialize.
Yeah.
And then it was a substitute That's all it was meant to be
Yeah.
at the beginning, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
It was a substitute for the real thing. But now we are at the age where it's no longer the substitute. It's the number one thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then they're socializing in real life.
It's
Yeah.
about,
Yeah.
actually now it can have the opposite effect if you're bad in social media or you're not active on social
Right.
media. It affects
Yeah.
your
You socially.
natural life
Yeah.
socially.
Yeah.
So yeah, and people are using it sometimes not necessarily in a very good way.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
It started like I was mentioning earlier. It started like at a very basic kind of level, and then it developed. Or like was it 2012?
When Facebook came on.
Well, Facebook came on like early like
2005 or something?
2005, 2006, but it didn't really catch until
Yeah,
like
because it wasn't meant to be for the big public.
yeah, exactly. And then then Twitter came along, and then Instagram came along. Facebook buys Instagram, and then they just like develop it into this monster that it is today, where it's like you guys were mentioning earlier. It's influencing daily behaviors. Like I mean, not to get overly negative. Like it's influencing young people, like
It is.
people 10 years, 20 years younger than us, like in a really big way, right? Like influencing statistics in a country and whatnot. That's one thing I think is really, really interesting to me is, how it started in the States and how it influences the States right now to like an extreme degree. Maybe you guys can talk a little bit about Tunisia and how it's been,
How it influences the.
or like how it influences the day-to-day life over here. Like how's it it switch up things?
You obviously see the information flowing way faster and way faster, like to more people, to more areas very quickly. So like any major news are learned by everybody immediately, and sometimes like especially in times like Corona, where or some political events or sporting events where things happen very dynamically, very quickly. There's a change every few minutes. People are aware, and you see like changes of behavior in the street, like that show what's going on in the media. And right now, like we said last time, media, as in the news,
Yes.
is social media. It's the same thing.
Yeah. It's and in the States, it's almost replacing
Right.
media to a large extent,
And
right?
we know how the news affects people.
You mean
Yeah.
like social media is replacing media, the actual?
Yeah, things like fake news, for
Oh, yeah,
example.
yeah, and that way, okay.
and that movie, I don't know, did you see The Social Dilemma?
No, I haven't.
So it's a very interesting movie, and it really from Netflix, and it goes really into depth on how, it's from the programmers, the people who made social media, who say
yes,
like
yes.
how this is influencing, like how they designed it,
How it's programmed.
and how it's programmed to influence people.
Yeah.
Like the things like they interviewed the guy who made the like button, for example.
Yeah,
and
I
like,
think I saw that the reaction emojis.
Yeah.
I think I saw that, but not the whole movie. I think I saw like just
Yeah, little
part of it.
clips,
Yeah,
probably.
and people
Yeah.
are talking. I should watch it.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's like
Social Dilemma.
Social Dilemma, and it's
Take notes.
and I mean like it's almost sinister if you really think about it, like how they designed to like work on the human impulse, right? Like when you read something and when you read text, you're reading text like how you interpret it,
Yeah.
and it inspires responses that you usually wouldn't give. So it's almost like a roll, like a snowball effect. That's what I'm
Okay.
looking for. Whereas like a maybe benign issue, if you were to have a conversation, would turn into like an insane political like fight
Yeah.
online.
Yeah.
With like 20, 100, 150 comments, and then
Because they understood how to trigger certain emotions or
Yes.
certain reactions from people, so they use it to their benefit. And most of the time, people they are not aware, and they fall in
Exactly.
they fall in this trap of this
Of the-
organized social media
Exactly.
theory. Yeah.
I think it's like really interesting because in the US, Facebook groups is not like a huge thing. Maybe for some segments of populations, but living in LA where I was, it didn't like Facebook groups weren't so exhaustively huge.
Okay.
But
You know-
would you know that though?
Like well, I mean, you wouldn't get information through, like say for example.
If you're not part of a group, if you're not part of Facebook
How would you
groups.
know?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I guess, yeah.
Because I'm putting yourself exactly in your shoes. I've lived here for 5 years so far since I came back,
Yeah.
and I've known about the potential of groups like I would say 5 months ago.
5 months.
Before that, I thought they were like irrelevant. Who the fuck
Really?
uses a Facebook group?
Really?
Yeah.
You know, but since I've been here in Tunisia,
Yeah.
right? Like the apartments,
Yeah.
heavily, like there are like networks of Facebook groups of
Right.
tens of thousands of people sometimes.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't like yoga. Remember the
Yes, yes.
site you showed me? Like this is how you get information. Like some companies, for example, my gym, Manar, they like it's a waste of your time to go on Google and try to figure out what's happening with this company on Google, right? Like Facebook groups is largely how they share Facebook groups and Facebook, postings of their
Community,
schedule
yeah.
and things like that. So Facebook, in the movie they point to like third world countries and how much social media influences them because they have such a net over communication
Okay.
in countries like Tunisia and countries like Jamaica. Well, China blocks all that out.
Yeah,
but,
China and a few more countries.
yeah, so I think like the society nowadays is developing with social media.
Yeah, actually, even not only the society, like human connections, but also business-wise. Like companies now are using social media to promote for their business or to get more information
Absolutely.
by analyzing, like we said earlier, human behavior. What if I put this, people, how will they react? Like if I promote this product in a certain region or for a certain population, and they study that, and based on that they try to improve their sales, so it influences us, and still we don't even know.
yeah. It's like they make that imagery in that movie of like these people behind these computers, almost like what's that doll thing? I can't remember the word.
Puppet Master?
Yeah, I guess you say that. Puppet Masters.
Puppet Master.
Puppet
Yeah,
Master.
the
You're
puppet
Puppy
show.
Master.
Puppy Masters.
He's
Yeah.
the master of puppies. She listens to him like
Lately, that's been my latest.
achievement.
I'm not there yet.
She
Before
was,
I
she
call
was
that
a, she
achievement.
was a nightmare dog before
Okay.
Kevin. Like
Oh, really?
he's getting her down a very nice path now where she listens to people. She's not so aggressive anymore.
Yeah.
That's
And,
good. You tamed her energy.
I'm getting there. I'm not done yet.
So
Like,
you're the puppy master,
I-
and you were talking
yeah.
about puppet master.
and puppet, yes. I'll take that title, puppy master, right? But yeah, the social media movie, they were saying like how the people behind the screens are like puppet masters, kind of like pulling those strings,
Yeah.
and inciting those responses, right? They carefully view how you click on things, how long you look at things, like and tailor your feed accordingly, right?
Yes, yes.
Like for me, I get ridiculous amounts of workout stuff on my feed.
Of course, because that's probably all what you're searching for.
Exactly.
So they get accustomed to that, and they'll be like, "Oh, feed him this.
Yeah.
This is what he." Also, the audio things. Like if sometimes you are talking about one specific person, let's say I met with Abdel today, so I'm talking about Abdel, and then I come back home, and then a friend suggestion appears, and guess who? It's Abdel.
Yeah.
So I'm like, whoa,
Yeah,
some
come
people
on
are
now.
always listening.
Come on now. Yeah.
Well, that's not actually like. I don't think that's how they pick up on stuff. It's a very inefficient way of giving you exactly what you need, because what I think happens thanks to all this data collection
Yeah.
is that there is no real need to actually listen to your audio, because you say a bunch of random stuff during the day that's not as relevant as your actions when you're on a computer. That's what's most relevant. What you're doing on your phone all day, what you're doing on your computer screen, what you see, what you read. We spend most of our life these days like on a screen, right? And so your actions on that thing, those are way more valuable than just random stuff that you say. So what they do is you have a certain set of actions in a given day or a given week or a given month,
Okay.
right? And there's like 2 billion people on social media. Your actions, that set of actions will match other people, right?
Okay.
Those other people buy specific types of things, do specific types of activities.
So it's like boxes of
Right.
types of people.
Exactly. So to know what you need, who you are, what you like, and what you will be able to do, how to catch you, how to hook you, they just have to match you with people who are like you, who already did the action that they want you to do.
Okay, so
Yes.
net.
It's a net, right? And they can actually decide like how close to zoom in or out of like general areas. So they know people that are like in different parts of the world,
They are more
but they also
likely
know.
to, yeah.
Yeah, but they also know people in Tunisia who are more like each other. And they know people who are in your immediate circle. They can
Okay.
see who's friends of your friends, who's kind of similar to you, and then bam, here. Did you think about being friends with this person?
Okay,
Yeah.
but that I completely agree, but I just didn't understand that. Do you not believe that the audio thing is also used?
I'm
or-
sure it's recorded in hard drives, but what I'm saying
Yeah,
is
but also it detects because sometimes I don't go on my computer
I don't think it
specifically
detects.
looking. I believe I don't know why. Probably guys, you will judge, but sometimes I'm just talking about one piece of furniture. Let's say
Right.
something to arrange my shoes, and then I go on my phone. I don't specifically type. I don't do any research about it. I just like have a conversation with my friend, and then I go home and bam, ads about shoe arrangement boxes and stuff. And so for me, I think, well, that makes sense. For example, now if I say, "Hey Siri," she will respond because she's always listening. It's always active.
Just
right,
not-
no, yeah. They're
Hey Siri.
she was like you're talking about
she's like, I'm sensitive.
She's there.
No, but they're constantly recording.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sure
like-
of that.
like specific words are cut. That's not
Yeah.
probably not the whole conversation because we will be talking about a lot of nonsense, but I believe like specific words like are cut and they will just
That could
feed
be.
you.
That could
Chair.
be.
Yeah, they
Here,
get those
10
little
shares.
keywords here and there.
Keywords.
They're not
yeah.
being very public with their methods anyway, so we
Probably,
won't
yeah.
know for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
At this point, we could just like assume.
yeah.
Right.
Well, and be careful.
Yeah,
Anyways.
exactly.
But in the end, you know, like you can't even like when you say stuff like puppet masters and these people planned this stuff, you have to understand that this is a direct consequence of the free market, right? Because Facebook as a company, it has to succeed, right? So in order for them to succeed, they have a business goal, which is to make you spend as much time as possible
Yes.
on their platform.
Yes,
Right.
true.
So for them, it's how they make their money to understand how you work. So you can't blame like a carpenter for making tables, right? So
Yeah.
that's
Like
what
you
we-
want the table, I make the table.
like how else do I make tables to keep making tables, right? That's what I do. That's how they make their money because Facebook is free, right?
Yes, it is,
it's
yes.
it's free to use, but you're the merchandise, so they have to make you the way they need it to
Exactly.
make more money.
And that's the I think the key point. We are the merchandise.
Yes, yes. Because if you're a person in early 2005 who's thinking about a way to give a substitute to socializing, you're gonna think about like pleasing the people who socialize so they come on your platform,
Yes,
right?
that's
Exactly.
true.
That's
Right.
where it starts and that's how it goes.
Yeah, could you imagine like a company like, you know what, this is terrible for everybody, so I'm gonna make it less attractive and
yeah, I'm gonna
and
make
so,
people not use my social media.
right,
Nobody
they're
thinks
gonna
like that.
eventually just lose interest and
Yeah.
it was a good
Forget
run.
about that. No,
Yeah.
that would be bad for everyone.
And plus, like this whole social media system is based on the network effect, right? So the more people use it, the stronger it gets as a network. The more
The more popular it gets, because
Yeah.
the main resource is people.
yeah, and the more time you spend on it as an individual, the more importance it gets in your life, right? The more validation you give it by spending time on it.
Yeah.
People see you spending that much time on it because that's what social media is for, and it validates it for them. So if a
Yes.
person looks up to you, for example, in your social circle, and they see you spending time on social media,
Yes.
for them that gives extra validation to the weight
Yeah.
of social media in your life.
Yeah, say that he does it, she does it, and
Maybe
and
I should
over.
do it.
Yeah.
Social media must be a thing that people should do,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's how information travels now.
Yeah. Well,
Everything is like behind is like the validation, the need to be validated.
Yeah.
Everybody does this, so probably I should do it as well, so I can understand them better, or I can
Yeah.
be on the same page with them. So it's just like the net effect, net effect. Yeah.
You know, if there's one thing that I really, really like social media for, I love that technology has gotten us to this point as a human species. And the point is specifically that now we are able to understand our behavior much more than we were before. These like this inner personality of ours that dictates how we talk, how we view certain social situations. Before social media, before memes, right? Memes, they're like,
Memes.
oh, that's me when I do that.
Yeah.
That's me when I do
To
that.
relate to something. Yeah.
Before all that, it was more like an internal thing.
Actually,
Right.
I completely agree, because
Right.
now you have somebody else that is doing the same thing, so it's
Yeah.
like the mirror effect. and you're
Exactly. So
Like, yeah, I do that, so I must be like that.
I really like that many people, through seeing this stuff on social media, are able to look at themselves and understand themselves better.
yeah, through relating.
Right? It's like a superpower for someone like back like 50 years ago or 60 years ago.
Yeah.
Like to be able to understand so many little parts of your behavior by seeing that you're not alone, that there's different people like this and that and that and that. Obviously, like this skill is it's a double-edged sword.
That's
Yeah.
why influencers are so successful or are so famous these
Yeah.
days, because the whole concept about being an influencer is try to get people to relate to you.
Yeah.
Like if you are talking about your own insecurities, or you are talking about a few things that happened in your childhood and how they affected your life, or how do you feel in certain situations and stuff like that, and people are able to relate to whatever you're talking. So now they look at you and they're like, oh my god, this person is just saying whatever I need to say or acting however I want to act.
Yeah.
So they just like they are totally influenced by them, and that what makes now influencers so successful. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, because you know, in that influencer, they can see something, like you said, that they see in themselves.
Yeah.
But this person is validated by so many people who agree with them.
Yeah.
So you see that, and you're like,
So we go back to the
right,
same,
right.
Yeah.
And so opinions change, and
Yeah.
you know, now they have like marketing for these influencers, where they you know, put like a can of something when them doing something stupid, and
Yes.
and bam, you're influencing countless amounts of
generation.
people. Yeah.
But the influencer in that way is actually a specific targeting tool, right?
is,
So
yes.
you find a person who talks about specific topics.
Yes.
All their followers are people who are interested in that topic
Of
by
course.
default.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? So you have a
100%.
product that aims at that specific thing. The influencer is your best targeting tool,
Yeah.
because every person that follows them is potentially interested in what you're selling.
Yeah.
It's a conspiracy.
It's not. It's just capitalism at work. It's beautiful. I see the advantage of it.
It's banking on human self-control, and we all know
we ain't got none.
What's that?
Yeah, it's like, but because like I think self-control would be way easier if you're like, actually maybe not. If
What?
you're like in a group of people, like if we're all being social on social media together, right? You're looking at my back, you're looking over my back, and then we're kind of keeping each other in check. Whereas social media, by and large, is by yourself and wherever you're at, or things like that. So it's designed to kind of like that. That's also kind of a whole nother conversation. But it's meant to. Nowadays, it's being used to kind of bridge that gap in boredom. People don't get bored anymore.
Yes.
Right?
We still are at the very beginning, I believe, of the very
development
long
of it.
road of where social media will take us.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have no idea. It's completely unpredictable. It's
Absolutely.
moving at insane speeds.
That's why I took a social media break. Because it became too much to cope with all of this. So I'm like, okay, just
But how
take
long?
a break.
How long is your break gonna last? Like years?
1 week. No, 1 week for now until I feel the need to go back to it, or
Okay.
to feel the need that I really have other priorities for now. So
Well, sucks for you, social
I'm
media.
having
You're
the-
only seeing her for this moment.
Yeah.
After this, she'll disappear until next week.
but I'm socializing in real life. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
It's a great substitute. And so, or you get an assistant.
I'm gonna what?
You get an assistant.
I get an assistant. Oh, that's gonna become more like a responsibility,
Yeah.
not
Wow.
socializing.
Yeah.
Socializing is supposed to be fun.
Yeah. Well, social media. That's socializing is always fun. Right.
We laugh about it, but I'm pretty sure in about like 10 years or so, the position of social media assistant will be a thing, and there will be trainings
Hey.
on Facebook for like $9 an hour.
Oh man.
Learn how to be a social
To do
media
what?
assistant.
Not-
Do what
yeah.
To just post stuff for people.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh
well,
man.
it exists already.
That
like
exactly. Yeah.
community
But as
managers.
a mainstream, no.
Like for companies, they
Yes.
use it's like it's
Of
called
course.
the
But
community manager.
for influencers.
They do have assistants.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
Depending on the level,
Yes,
right?
they do have assistants. Sometimes you just only make the videos, and you have somebody who responds to your emails, who
Yeah.
responds to the messages, and who manages all of that. So
Okay, yeah.
they do exist.
Well, well, I would say, we're getting close to 40 minutes right now. But so let me just kind of encapsulate the idea. It really goes back to what I was saying earlier about banking on our self-control, right? Like
Yes.
if we're able to, strategize. Now, like thankfully the phones have tools to help you, like you said, like checks you on an hour and says like,
Yes.
right? I think social media has great connecting ability as long as you exercise that self-control,
True.
right? And if hopefully humans in total find a way to manage themselves on the phone, I think it could be a positive in the. It will be.
sure.
It will definitely be a positive
For sure,
in the
yes,
long run.
For sure, just like that part of self-control, to realize that social media is there as an option. It's not your real life. It doesn't replace anything. You just do it to fill specific needs, and that's it. So it doesn't have to take your whole day.
Exactly.
Let's end on this specific question that I want to ask. Right now, there's lots of companies, like the ones I know would be Samsung, Google, and Facebook, I think, that are inputting tools to help you control your, definitely not Facebook, but Instagram, you were
Yes,
saying,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
That are putting tools to help you manage your time, right?
Yes.
So the reason that they are the ones that have to put these tools there is, I think that if we count on the totality of humanity to control themselves, it's a losing bet.
Yes.
So the companies have to take over and step in. The question is, like, do you think that eventually it's the companies who are going to be forcing us to spend less time on social media? Or is it going to be really down to us to
Or-
try as hard as we can to
Or government.
government?
Well, to us also, but to people who are using Facebook as a platform to promote for their services, like companies. So at least as a thank you note to their customers is to just do their part of social responsibility.
Yeah.
The social responsibility is, at least if you're doing something that can be addictive, that can get addictive to people, at least put a note up there, just like, okay, this
Yeah.
is my way of helping you.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer, yeah.
I mean, governments too. Every time they hear about something getting addictive, it's a whole-out war.
Yeah. They're like, let's break up the company and
The social
and all
media
this.
war is gonna be an interesting one, right?
Revolution.
Yeah.
Because the war on drugs has been going on for a while,
Well, yeah.
right?
And this is a new one.
Next addictive thing is social media.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
I
is.
think it's gonna be the
Absolutely.
war on Facebook dealers.
Yes.
Yeah. Facebook dealers. Hey, you want this comment? Hey, 5 memes. I got five.
I got five
memes.
memes right here. Bye.
And on that, Pixie.
Pixie saying we gotta stop.
Pixie says we're done for today. So thank you guys, whoever's out there. It was lovely.
Come on, man. Let us say
Yeah,
goodbye. We're done.
Puppy agrees. It was lovely talking with you, Yasmin
Thank
Abdel,
you, thank
as
you.
always.
Sir.
And that's a wrap.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Signing off.
We should do the Anchorman one. That's how the cookie crumbles.
Well, they got that.